down there right now. He's probably getting set up at the media staging area, but do not head down into this direction. Around this area, we have Joco. It's close to the Capitol. It's in a very prime location where people like to be out on a late Saturday night into early Sunday morning. But again, like you mentioned, Monica, this is not the place to be as of this moment on Sunday morning.
Thank you, Michelle. And we're also hearing from witnesses this morning who were there at the scene when the shooting began and what they had to say. Take a listen.
As soon as we heard the first gunshots, all we did was just hide. That's the first thing that came in our mind, at least.
And we heard like several rapid, like a fully automatic weapon being fired. And then there was a response by another weapon that seemed like a semi-automatic, lower caliber. It kind of sounded like a Uzi.
And that was from witnesses who were there on the scene this morning during this mass shooting. And as we know right now, we are breaking into programming due to there being 6 people dead and 15 injured after a mass shooting in downtown Sacramento. ABC 10's Luke Cleary is on the scene. Luke, what are you seeing?
Monica, yes, we're here on the corner of 9th and K Streets. This is the media staging area where Sacramento Police Department have asked us to join them. We're waiting to hear from a public information officer so we can bring you the very latest in their investigation. But I'll just step out so you can see what we are looking at. That is the corner of 10th and K Street. This is where we understand a mass shooting unfolded sometime at or around 2 this morning. You may be able to see there's a police officer or detective who is kind of making his way up and down the sidewalk there with a flashlight. See another few officers in the background as well. We've seen first responders coming in and out of this police tape, but what we haven't seen quite yet is Sacramento Police Department public information officer who can bring us up to speed on the latest in their investigation. Do they have a suspect? Do they have a vehicle description? Is there additional information that may help them in making an arrest? These are all questions that we still have for Sacramento Police Department, but as you can clearly see, they have their hands full as they process this crime scene spanning well, we actually don't know exactly how large the crime scene is. I can only tell you the extent of the perimeter that is set up. We are on 9th Street looking up toward 10th. I understand that this closure extends all the way to 13th Street and between L and J. So actually, if we look just right here, I believe that this is the Sacramento Police Department public information officer. I'll see if I can flag him. Hey guys, how's it going? Luke Clary, ABC 10. We're actually live right now. Are you able to share anything with us live on?
No, the chief is actually going to come out here and
chief
give an update. Yeah.
Okay.
So,
okay, could you just say that again?
Yeah, the chief is going to be coming to give an update here in a minute.
Okay, and about what time will he be here?
I'm sorry?
What time will he be here?
The chief?
Yeah.
Yeah, she's going to be here in about 5 minutes to give an update.
Yes, Chief Kathy Lester. Yeah. Okay, and she'll be joining us here at 9th and K Street?
Yep, she will be. So she'll be here to provide the details that we have at this point. It's still very early in the investigation, so we don't have a lot of details to provide, but she will be able to provide what we do have at this point.
Okay, are you able to tell us the time of the call?
She'll be able to provide all that information for you guys.
Okay, well, thank you very much. So this is breaking right now. We understand that the Sacramento Police Department Chief Kathy Lester will be joining us here at this media staging ground, moments away, to give us all of the details of the investigation that they are able to share at this time. So again, we just spoke with a couple of officers with the public information team at Sacramento Police Department. Monica, this again is still an early stage in the investigation, and clearly there's a lot to process here, not just in terms of the crime scene, but emotionally and psychologically. I think for the city of Sacramento, downtown that is just reemerging from COVID restrictions, just starting to host sold-out concerts at the Golden One Center where the Kings play. We were just a block away from there, steps away from the popular nightclubs and bars of this downtown district. Back to you.
Thank you, Luke. We'll let you go ahead and get more from authorities, and we'll take it from here. Thank you. If you're just now joining us, the time is 6:06, and we are reporting on a mass shooting where 6 people were killed and 15 were injured. We are also talking with Stephante Clark. He is a community activist. He has just sent me a statement regarding this mass shooting, and he says, quote, "The I Am SAC Foundation sends prayers and condolences for those involved in the shooting that took place. I Am SAC Foundation, the Clark family, will be assisting with emotional and financial services for all the victims involved. We are here as a support team for anyone and everyone who needs healing and comfort during this troubling period. I Am SAC Foundation has a delegated team if needed to mediate and de-escalate. I Am SAC Foundation will continue to support in local and statewide communities. Together we can bring change and promote peace. This is a movement, not a moment." Again, that is from Stephante Clark. He is a community activist here in Sacramento, responding to this mass shooting where 6 people were killed and 15 were injured. And we also have video from social media because this happened late into Saturday night into Sunday morning at a bar scene in downtown Sacramento. This video from a Twitter user shows the moments that led up to the shooting at 10th and K Street just 3 hours ago. And it may be hard to watch. Take a look. What you're looking at now is a fight that broke out in downtown Sacramento, and then shots rang out. We do not know if this fight is the reason for shots being fired. We also don't know who was hurt, but we do know 6 people were killed, 15 are injured. And this looks like a big scene outside of a bar late into Saturday night where the shooting took place. Young people, it looks like about in their late 20s, early 20s, fighting here in this video. We're not sure what caused this fight and if this is the reason that the shots rang, but you can hear in this video the shots ringing out, people flooding to the intersection of the street trying to get to safety, but also you can see this fight is taking place. This man has his arms around another man's throat, punches are being thrown. Seems like a large group of males in this area fighting. We're not sure why this fight broke out or who was the cause of it, but we do know that at this time 15 people are injured, 6 are dead after a mass shooting in downtown Sacramento. This is a busy scene in Sacramento. If you don't know the area too well, this is by Sharif Jewelers and other bars in the area. We are asking people to stay away from this area. There is a large police presence at this time. And again, you just saw a video from the mass shooting where 6 people were killed and 15 were injured. That video was from Twitter showing the moments that led up to the shooting at 10th and K Street. It was posted just 3 hours ago. Right now, roads in 9th and 13th Street are closed between L and J Street. Of ABC 10, Luke Cleary is on the scene right now working to talk with the authorities about why this happened, who are the 6 victims, how old they are, and where do we go from here. We have also spoke with community activists from Barry Axius to Stephante Clark. They have been on the scene. They are talking with victims and their families, and they say this is just devastating. We also want to take a look at the map of the location of the shooting. Reminder, it happened on 10th and J Street. We're going to bring in Michelle Apon because she's going to give us a closer look at the shooting closures between 9th and 13th. Good morning, Michelle.
Good morning, Monica. This is a map of where you need to avoid if you are heading to downtown Sacramento. I don't recommend going to downtown Sacramento. So between 9th to 13th Street, between L and J Street, there's a huge police presence. There was a shooting earlier this morning, like Monica has mentioned. So do not head downtown. This is a very active crime scene. Monica.
Thank you, Michelle. And we're hearing from witnesses this morning who were there at the scene when the shooting began. Here's what they had to say.
As soon as we heard the first gunshots, all we did was just hide. That's the first thing that came into our mind, at least.
And we heard like several rapid, like a fully automatic weapon being fired. And then there was a response by another weapon that seemed like a semi-automatic, lower caliber. It kind of sounded like a Uzi.
If you're just now joining us, the time is 6:10 and we are giving you breaking news on a mass shooting that happened in downtown Sacramento. 6 people are dead and 15 people are injured after a mass shooting in the downtown Sacramento area. ABC 10 Luke Cleary is on the scene. He's been there all morning. Luke, what are authorities telling you and what are you learning so far?
Yes, Monica, we're here at the scene of a mass shooting. 6 people died, 15 people hurt. We understand that Police Chief Kathy Lester will be joining us on this corner to bring us an update on the investigation and where police stand in terms of bringing those who did this to justice. Now, we don't have a lot of information where this happened, why this happened,
Do we have
what's the
Yuli in there?
potential motive, but I can tell you. Sorry. I can tell you that Kathy Lester was just sworn in as Sacramento's first woman police chief only about a week ago, just last month, in fact, and so she's got a difficult task ahead of her in in helping to resolve this terrible crime. But again, I'll just kind of take a few steps out of the way so you can see where we believe this unfolded. That is the corner of 10th and K Street. And in fact, I can see a number of people, if you just look straight down here along the train tracks, there's a number of people gathered there now. We have seen police officers and detectives snapping photographs of the scene, processing evidence in this area, trying to get their arms around what happened here. We spoke with Sergeant Zach Eaton, public information officer with Sacramento Police Department, who told us that we would be hearing from Chief Lester, just imminently. And I believe, actually, I'm not sure if we can get a vantage between the trees and the poles here. If we just kind of move toward the right, you might actually be able to see her. It looks like she may be getting briefed as she prepares to bring us the latest information in this investigation. If you'll just actually turn over this way to the left, you'll see Barry Axius with Voice of the Youth. We see the press, media have gathered here in this staging area, and a small crowd of people starting to gather. We're not sure whether they're related to the victims or this incident. We're still trying to really kind of get our arms around what has happened here in Sacramento's downtown district. And so again, for the time being, we're just kind of preparing to receive this statement from the chief. We also understand that she'll be taking a couple of questions. Obviously, we have many about what happened here. We also understand that police will be looking for any video, any evidence that they're able to get their hands on. In this day and age, everybody has a smartphone in their pocket, and when these things happen, that's oftentimes that kind of evidence can prove to be critical for a police investigation. And so they will be making that call, I believe, to anyone who may have been in the area, who may have seen something, who may have thought to bring out their camera and start rolling, as we've often seen. I know that you have some user-generated content, some viewer video that we're scanning social media as well, looking for what we can get to help kind of recreate what happened here. But again, it's a terrifying and horrible scene for those who witnessed this crowd coming out of bars at or around 2 this morning. 6 people have died, 15 people are hurt. Those are the latest numbers from Sacramento Police Department. They are updating their Twitter feed, and they will continue to do so as we continue to gather facts right here on the ground. Monica.
Go back out to you live. Can you show me that group of people again to your right? Go ahead and pan your camera. Who are those people? What is this group gathering? What are they saying?
So we just want to be careful because there may be family members of the victims here, and we haven't really been able to make contact with them. To be honest with you, Monica, at this time I really don't know who these folks are. I haven't had the opportunity to walk over and speak with many of them yet. So I believe, based on my conversation with Barry Axius at Voice of the Youth, that other witnesses have been taken to another location where they're working with police to kind of help recreate what unfolded here. That's part of this investigation. If you look just over this way, you'll see a number of officers, again, helping to maintain this perimeter, which extends from 9th Street to 13th Street, and then again from J to L. So for those who are getting up at this early hour on a Sunday morning, heading out to, whether they're heading out to work or to church or their weekend errands, this is definitely an area that you're going to want to avoid as police continue their work of processing this scene and investigating this crime. So again, we are expecting the newly sworn in Sacramento Police Chief Kathy Lester to come out and bring us the latest in the investigation. She's expected to join us in just a few moments, and so we'll then have the opportunity to ask some of the questions that I know that we have and that many of our viewers will surely have on their minds as we try to understand this situation. Monica.
Luke, can you tell me what businesses are near you and what intersection you're at exactly so people know where to avoid and what area they cannot go to?
That's right. Okay, so if you just look right over here, you may be able to see the sign for the K Street game coin op game room. There's a Taco Bell cantina here on this corner. If you actually would swing all the way around, you can see the 9th and K Street station right over here. So this is also a public transportation hub. As you know, the train runs this way. And then Matt, I don't know if you are able to get a view straight down toward Golden One Center. That's the downtown Commons area. Okay, yeah, you can see just right down there. So that's a straight shot to the Golden One Center. I actually think that we've been saying it's about a block away. I think it's actually 2 blocks to the DOCO, the downtown Commons area, the Golden One Center where the Kings play, and that large shopping mall, bars, restaurants, and more. And so that may help you get an idea of exactly where we're standing. Again, if you want the cross streets, it's 9th and K, and on any given weekend night, like a Saturday bleeding into a Sunday morning, again, you're going to have a lot of young people enjoying themselves at the bars and clubs that have gradually made their way out of 2 years of COVID-19 restrictions. In fact, as we look again, we have that straight shot looking right down toward DOCO and the Golden One Center. The Kings are slated to play the Warriors here tonight. So, of course, as we well know, the state of the Kings are not likely at this time, if not already, out of the playoffs. But you may have expected that, again, this is kind of a Northern California rivalry, so you may have expected to see more people from the Bay Area coming out to enjoy the game, to enjoy the restaurants here in downtown Sacramento. That, of course, may be in question now. I mean, people are maybe definitely looking at the headlines of a mass shooting and rethinking their plans to come here. So, again, just kind of a devastating for our businesses as well. But really, I mean, of course, considerations like that certainly pale in comparison with the pain and just the terror that so many families are experiencing, waking up this morning to learn that their loved ones were caught up in something as terrifying as a mass shooting, again, where we know of at least 20 victims, 21, 6 people succumbing to their injuries, and another 15 still hurt. Monica.
Thank you, Luke, for that live report. We'll check back in with you shortly. I want to go now to what we're seeing on social media regarding this mass shooting. People who were there when the shooting took place have video that they shared with us. Take a look at this. It's from Twitter. 6 people were killed and 15 were injured, and this is the video that shows the moments that led up to the shooting at 10th and K Street just 3 hours ago. It may be hard to watch. What you're looking at right now is a group of people fighting in the streets right before shots rang out. You can see people running to safety into the streets there in downtown Sacramento, right up to what led to this mass shooting. Again, we don't know if the fight is the reason for the shooting. We also don't know who was hurt, but we do know 6 people are dead and 15 are injured. And we are also looking at road closures in this area because you are going to want to avoid the area. There's a large police presence, and we want to bring in Michelle Apon. Michelle, what can you tell us when it comes to road closures and where people should avoid?
I don't recommend going downtown to Sacramento this morning. Now, this is what it looks like. This is where the closures are. So like Monica has been mentioning and Luke's been mentioning all morning, there's a huge police presence in downtown Sacramento. So stretching all the way from 9th to 13th Streets, and then even all the way down from L to J Streets. That is where the road closures are. I would not avoid this. I would completely avoid this area if you are, say, heading to downtown Sacramento for, say, church or an early morning walk. This is a very busy area on Saturday nights for when people are in town, going out with their friends. So this whole area is closed. Again, shooting closure from 9th to 13th Streets between L and J Streets. Monica, I'll send it back over to you.
Thank you, Michelle. We're also hearing from witnesses this morning who were there at the scene when the shooting began. And here's what they had to say.
As soon as we heard the first gunshots, all we did was just hide. That's the first thing that came in our mind, at least.
We heard like several rapid, like a fully automatic weapon being fired. And then there was a response by another weapon that seemed like a semi-automatic, lower caliber. It kind of sounded like a Uzi.
You're hearing from witnesses who were there when the shots broke out. And if you're just joining us, the time is 6:22 and 6 people are dead and 15 people are injured after a mass shooting in downtown Sacramento. I want to go to Michelle Apon now. She has really the bullet points of how this all took place. Michelle.
So this is what everyone sees if you're on chat. So let me switch over to CG5. If you guys switch over to CG5, that would be great. This is where the closure is right now from 9th to 13th Streets between L and J and L. But this is what people see if you're looking at CAD in the morning. So at 2 o'clock in the morning, 2:01, gunshots were heard on K Street. At 2:02, 2 people were hit at a jeweler's. 2:03, 5 people were reported down. 2:05, a victim was found in an alley. Again at 2:05, victim was wounded to the arm. We're also looking at 2:09, fire department declaring a mass casualty event. 2:46, 10th and J, a deceased victim. And that's what we're looking at this morning. Monica.
People, unfortunately, had been shot, and this is a really tragic situation. So we now have confirmed that we had 6 people killed in the area of 10th and K. An additional 10 people were transported or self-transported to area hospitals. So we are asking for the public's help in helping us to identify the suspects in this and provide any information that you can to help us solve this. Right now, our investigators are arriving on scene. And like I said, this is very, very preliminary, so we do not have, a lot of details to share. But again, we're asking for the public's help.
I hate to ask you to repeat some of that. We're just coming on live right now, ABC 10. Chief Lester, if you could just walk us through the call that Sacramento Police Department received and what was the scene that officers responding arrived to?
So we had officers in the area that heard shots fired and responded to the area of 10th and K. They found a very large crowd here, and they also found that we had a number of people that were shot in the area. Those officers, we know, rendered aid to our victims and called for additional assistance from outside agencies as well as our medical responders with the local fire department here. So the scene behind me is where this happened, and right now we do not have a suspect in custody on this, and we're asking for the public's help. Again, this is a really tragic and unfortunate situation.
Was it a club? Was there an event, a concert letting out tonight or something where there would be a large crowd?
We had a large crowd in the area, but we don't know that it was associated with any particular club or event.
And can you describe the investigation? What is happening right now? What are detectives and officers doing to try to solve this crime?
So this, as you can imagine, is a very complex and complicated scene. So we have a large group of investigators that is responding, and they're just now beginning to conduct the preliminary investigation into this incident.
Is there more than one suspect?
We don't know that information, but we again are asking for the public's help. So if anyone saw anything, has video, or can provide any information to the police department, we are asking for their assistance.
Do you know anything about the weapon?
I'm sorry?
Do you know anything about the weapon?
We know that this was that there were shots fired, so there are guns involved, obviously.
If they're still at large, is it safe? Should people stay away?
We have a large police presence right now. The scene is now secure, and as we get more information, we'll be providing that later to you.
Do you believe that the shooting was targeted?
I'm sorry?
Do you believe that the victims were targeted in this?
We don't have that information right now, but we certainly hope to get more and be able to provide more information about this incident later in the day.
Okay, thank you guys very
Thank you.
much.
Thank you, Chief.
Well, we'll be able to give you guys more information as the day unfolds, okay? Thank you.
You just heard from Kathy Lester, the police chief of Sacramento Police Department. As we are hearing now of a mass shooting that took place in downtown Sacramento, 6 people are dead, 15 people are injured after a mass shooting in the downtown Sacramento area. ABC 10's Luke Cleary is on the scene. He is getting the latest. We'll check back in with him shortly. But we want to go to some video that we have from social media when the shots first rang out. Take a look. You can see in this video a group of people fighting in the streets in downtown Sacramento. This may be hard to watch. Again, 6 people were killed, 15 were injured. We're not sure if this fight is the reason for the shots being, for the gunshot fired, but you can hear it in this video. We got this from a Twitter user showing the moments that led up to the shooting at 10th and K Street just 3 hours ago. Again, 6 people were killed, 15 injured. This is a video from social media right when this shooting took place. Again, we want to let you know where the roads are closed. They're closed at 9th and 13th Street. Police tell us that this area is secure as of now, but 9th and 13th Street are closed between L and J Street. ABC 10's Luke Cleary is on the scene and will give us the latest as he gets it. But here's a map of the location of the shooting. Reminder, it happened on 10th and J Street. And we're hearing from witnesses this morning, along with the statement from Stephante Clark. You're seeing that on your screen now. He says, quote, "I am the SAC Foundation and the Clark family will be assisting with emotional and financial services for all victims involved. We are here." They go on to say that I Am SAC Foundation has a de-escalation team if needed to mediate and de-escalate. That is from Stephante Clark and the I Am SAC Foundation. We will hear from Stephante later in the show. But we do want to go now to eyewitnesses who were on the scene and spoke with ABC 10.
As soon as we heard the first gunshots, all we did was just hide. That's the first thing that came into our mind, at least.
And we heard like several rapid, like a fully automatic weapon being fired. And then there was a response by another weapon that seemed like a semi-automatic, lower caliber. It kind of sounded like a Uzi.
You just heard from witnesses as they saw the chaos break out in downtown Sacramento after 6 people were killed and 15 were injured. But now we want to go to Michelle Apon. She has a timeline of the events. Michelle.
You know, we have all hands on deck, and Rob Carmar came in, and he actually helped me put this map together. So this is the timeline of how everything went down overnight into early this morning. This is at 2:01 this morning. Reports of shots fired near El Santo, that's 10th and K Street. Now I want to zoom in so you can see. Now at 2:02, a report of an assault with a weapon. That's near the Capitol parking garage on 11th Street. At 2:03, a report of 5 people down in and around that area. At 2:08, SAC PD calls in all units. All units respond to the area. And as we take a look around this region, you can see that 211, large crowd has gathered. CPR is in progress for many victims in and around near that region. At 213, 10th and J, 2 victims were found. 2:15 in the morning, 10th and L, a report of a victim shot. So at this point, this is when people are scattering from the area. 2:22, first reports of multiple deaths, report of 10 victims and 3 deceased. We also see that the 2:27 report of a gun found. This is at 10:29. Sorry, 1029 K Street near closed restaurant Mother's. So if you guys are familiar with that area in downtown Sacramento, it's next door to the Mother's restaurant, 1029 K Street. That's where a gun was recovered. And at between 2:46 to shortly before 3 a.m., multiple reports of victims. Victims were found on J Street. Walk-ins were people were walking into local hospitals. So by this point, almost an hour later, near 10th and K, most people have scattered around from that region. Again, there are closures in this area. So if you are maybe heading to downtown Sacramento, don't. But if you have to be in downtown Sacramento between 9th to 13th Streets, that is closed between J and L. Monica.
Thank you, Michelle. This morning, we're also talking to community activists who are on the scene and are really just in this community and know the people who are there and what happened. We're trying to get an idea of who the 6 people who are now dead and also the 15 injured. We spoke with Barry Axius this morning. Here's what he had to say.
A lot of victims with blood, just watching some of the families that didn't know if their loved one was alive, running and trying to figure out what was happening, people distraught, people discombobulated. It just was horrific. I'm hearing people saying, I lost my sister. I lost my sister. And I lost my brother. Heartbreaking.
We're also hearing from Stephante Clark in the I Am SAC Foundation. In a statement, he says, quote, I Am SAC Foundation and the Clark family will be assisting with emotional and financial services for all victims involved. We are here. Going on to say that their thoughts are in their prayers or condolences, for those involved in the shooting that took place. Stephante Clark also saying that this is a movement and a moment. We have ABC 10's Luke Cleary also on the scene. He has been there all morning. He is now talking with authorities to get us more answers about this mass shooting where 6 people are now dead and 15 are injured after a mass shooting that happened in downtown Sacramento. We also have Michelle Apon. She's standing by with road closures. Michelle, what can you tell us?
So this has not changed. If you're just joining us right now, it's 6:32 this Sunday morning. There was a shooting. This is where the road closures are in downtown Sacramento between 9th and 13th Streets, between L and J Streets. So in and around this area, this is where all that police activity happened this morning. And this is what you can expect if you are around this region. Now, we did see that reported gun at 2:27 this morning at 1029 K Street near Mother Restaurant. So if you are familiar with downtown Sacramento, that's where a gun was recovered. But most of this activity did center around 10th and K Street. Monica.
Thank you, Michelle. And we also are checking social media to get more of an idea of what happened and what took place. And we have video from Twitter. Take a look at your screen right now. The mass shooting where 6 people and 15 were injured. This video was captured right before it all went down. Moments that led up to the shooting at 10th and K Street. This video took just 3 hours before it all happened. You can see a group of people in the street fighting, and then shots broke out. We're not sure whether or not the shooting was because of this fight, who was involved, but we do know 6 people are dead and 15 injured. We're not sure about how old these people are or how old the people injured or who died were, but we do know this group looks to be about young people in their late to early 20s fighting in the streets outside of a bar. Again, we're not sure what caused this fight to happen, but you can see it may be hard to watch this brawl breaking out, people punching, throwing punches at one another and choking each other in the streets of Sacramento. This happened late into Saturday night. This area is known to have a lot of bars and restaurants where young people go to enjoy themselves. This weekend, we are seeing people there all night, and now this mass shooting taking place and this fight happening moments before shots rang out. I do want to go to eyewitnesses who were there and spoke with ABC 10 about what they saw and how they felt.
As soon as we heard the first gunshots, all we did was just hide. That's the first thing that came in our mind, at least.
And we heard several rapid, fully automatic weapons being fired. And then there was a response by another weapon that seemed like a semi-automatic, lower caliber. It kind of sounded like a Uzi.
Now we want to take a live look of downtown Sacramento where the shooting took place. It now looks all quiet and silent, but this was not the case just earlier this morning. We got the news into our newsroom around 2 a.m. this morning that 6 people are dead and 15 are injured after a mass shooting in downtown. You can see there's still a large police presence there. The police tape's still up as they are investigating this. We did speak with ABC 10's Luke Cleary. He is on the scene right now. He spoke with authorities and community activists who say that this was a huge scene this morning. Again, this is in downtown Sacramento in the bar scene where there's a lot of people who usually go out, especially on the weekends. This happened late into Saturday night, going into Sunday morning. 15 people injured, 6 are dead. We're working to discover who these victims were, why this shooting took place. But we also know a fight took place right before shots went out. We're not too sure how the fight and the shooting are connected, but we're working to get you answers. Again, you're taking a live look now. We're zooming in so you can get a closer look of what's still going on at this very active scene. You can see police are there speaking with what looks like witnesses and maybe those who saw everything that happened firsthand. Also, we see investigators on the scene along with fire trucks, ambulance, police, a large police presence here in downtown Sacramento where this mass shooting took place. Again, 6 people are dead, 15 injured. That's what we have confirmed at this time. What we're working to learn is why this shooting took place in downtown Sacramento, where a lot of young people go to enjoy themselves. This happened late into Saturday night into Sunday morning, and we are now learning that there are multiple people who have been affected by this mass shooting. We also spoke with Chief of Police Kathy Lester with the Sacramento Police Department, and she is giving us the most that she can on the latest on this. Also, we spoke with community activists who say that this could have been avoided, that this was a senseless act of gun violence. We spoke with Barry Axius. He is closely in a close-knit community with the young people in Sacramento, and he says that the victims' families are also on the scene and are completely devastated. He spoke from his side of the fence on what he saw, and he says that the victims' families are continuing to mourn their loss right now while investigators are speaking with witnesses. You can see there, you're getting a live look at downtown Sacramento where the mass shooting took place. We also spoke with Stephante Clark, another community activist. He says that they are working with the I Am Sac Foundation to make sure that the victims' families receive emotional and financial services. You're getting a look at the statement that they sent to ABC 10 this morning saying, quote, I Am Sac Foundation and the Clark family will be assisting with emotional and financial services for all victims involved. We are here. So that is a statement this morning that we got from Stephante Clark. He went on to say, I Am Sac Foundation has a de-escalation team if needed to mediate and de-escalate. So that's from Stephante Clark this morning. His reaction from the mass shooting will be coming up shortly. He's speaking with our Madison Wade as we speak. But I want to go back out to that live look from Luke Cleary. He is on the scene right now so we can really show you what's going on. This happened in downtown Sacramento. This is a very busy bar scene where a lot of young people go to enjoy themselves. So now you're getting a live look at authorities, investigators there, picking up where the scene left off so we can see what's going on next. Police have spoke with our ABC 10's Luke Cleary, and he's getting more, but I want to go ahead and turn it over to Michelle Apon because she has the timeline of how this all happened. Michelle.
Good morning, Monica. So just shortly after 2 o'clock, this is what happened. So 2:01, we got reports of shots fired. This happened near El Santo, that's 10th Street and K Street. And as we look at 2:02, there was a report of an assault with a weapon. That was near the Capitol Garage at 11th Street. At 2:03, report of 5 people down in and around the area. So around 10th and K is where this all happened. At 2:08, Sac PD called in all units. All units were responding to this area, and there were already units there just doing their usual night Saturday patrol in and around the area. At 2:09, a fire department did say a mass casualty event on the CAD scan. And as we look at what happened at 2:11, a large crowd continued to gather. CPR was happening with a bunch of people helping each other, and we had a lot of victims in and around that region. 2:13, 10th and J, 2 victims were found over here. Some were also found near an alley. 2:15, 10th and L, report of a victim shot. And this is all happening right after 2 o'clock in the morning. At 2:22, first reports of multiple victims, report of 10 victims and 3 deceased by this point. And at 2:27, report of the gun found. This is at 1029 K Street near the closed Mother restaurant. So if you guys are familiar in downtown Sacramento, this is a restaurant near 10th and K. This is Mother Restaurant. That's where the gun was recovered. By 2:46 and then shortly before 3 a.m., most victims were found either walking into a local hospital. And so for about an hour, starting at 2 a.m. this morning, that's when a lot of stuff was happening. But 10th and K is where all this is happening. If you are maybe, say, heading to downtown Sacramento, the areas to avoid are near 10th and K. So closures would stretch from all the way from 9th to 13th Streets between J and L. Monica, back to you.
Thank you, Michelle. We're now hearing from Kathy Lester. Let's take a listen.
About 2 o'clock in the morning this morning, our officers were in the area here at 10th and K, and they heard shots being fired. They responded to our scene behind me and located a large crowd. They found that multiple people, unfortunately, had been shot, and this is a really tragic situation. We now have confirmed that we had 6 people killed in the area of 10th and K. An additional 10 people were transported or self-transported to area hospitals. So we are asking for the public's help in helping us to identify the suspects in this and provide any information that you can to help us solve this.
You just heard from Kathy Lester there, who is asking the community to come forward if they know anything about this mass shooting where 6 people were killed and 15 were injured. We do have video from the scene moments before shots rang out. Take a look at your screen. This is from Twitter. It shows the moments that led up to the shooting at 10th and K Street just 3 hours before the shooting happened. We're not sure how this fight is linked to the shooting. We are also not sure whether or not the shooter is still on the loose. We're working to get those answers for you. But you are looking at this video from the mass shooting where 6 people were killed and 15 were injured from a Twitter user, the moments that led up to that shooting on 10th and K Street. It was posted just 3 hours before shots rang out. Right now, roads on 9th and 13th Street are closed between L and J Street. ABC 10's Luke Cleary is on the scene working to get more information. He's been speaking with community activists to understand the victims and who they are. We also spoke with Barry Axius. He works closely with the youth, and here's what he had to say.
Just as soon as I walked, you just saw a chaotic scene. Police all over the place, victims with blood all over their bodies, folks screaming, folks crying, people saying, where is my brother, mothers coming and trying to identify who their child was. It's just an unfortunate situation that it constantly is occurring in our community. I'm just shocked at that someone or somebody's would come here in a place where it should be safe and do something as heinous as this.
And we're also hearing from witnesses this morning who were there at the scene when the shooting began. Here's what they had to say.
As soon as we heard the first gunshots, all we did was just hide. That's the first thing that came into our mind, at least.
And we heard several rapid, fully automatic weapons being fired. And then there was a response by another weapon that seemed like a semi-automatic, lower caliber. It kind of sounded like a Uzi.
We're also hearing from Stephante Clark. Here's a statement he sent to ABC 10 this morning regarding his response to the shooting that happened in downtown. He said, quote, I Am SAC Foundation and the Clark family will be assisting with emotional and financial services for all victims involved. We are here. He went on to say in his statement that he sends his prayers and condolences for those involved in the shooting that took place. He also says that the I Am SAC Foundation has a de-escalation team if needed to mediate and de-escalate. End quote. That's Stephante Clark with the I Am SAC Foundation. We also have an interview with Stephante Clark, but we'll have that later in the show. But I do want to go back to that video that happened right before shots rang out. Take a look at your screen. This is what happened moments before shots rang out in downtown Sacramento, where 6 people were killed, 15 injured. We aren't sure if this video showing the fight is linked to the reason behind the shooting, but we do know this: 6 people died and 15 are injured. And this video may be hard to watch as you see that man being choked and pulled to the ground and punches being thrown. It looks like a group of young people in their late to early 20s out here late into Saturday evening into early Sunday morning. And I also want to go back out live to ABC 10 Luke Cleary. He has a live look of the scene. Do we have Luke here?
I'm trying to follow it too, honestly.
We'll go back to Luke, but we do want to show you this live look of what's going on right now. As the sun comes up, you can see the police presence is still heavy. There's tons of people there. We do have Luke. I see Luke. What can you tell us? I know you spoke with SAC PD. What's the latest?
Yes. Sorry, Monica. Yeah, it's a bit touch and go here as we stand here at 9th and K Street. We're trying to learn new details about this mass shooting. Just a recap, this happened at about 2 this morning on 10th and K, just straight down this way. We're starting to see the sun come up, and more people have kind of gathered now to this media staging area to learn what we can from police. Moments ago, we heard from Sacramento Police Chief Kathy Lester, who has just only been in this job for now a little more than a week. She was sworn in last month and told us that police officers, detectives are now processing the scene. We also heard from another Sacramento Police Department officer who asked the public to send in their video evidence, whatever that they can, to help them gather sort of a clearer view of exactly what unfolded. And I've spoken with a father here who told me that he'd heard from his daughter that his son may have been among the victims in last night's shooting. He has asked not to go on camera just yet because he doesn't want to speculate on something that hasn't been confirmed to him yet by police. But he's among the many families who are waiting for answers right now. Again, it's a large scene. There's a lot to process here in terms of evidence. And so it will take some time before those notifications are able to go out. Those notifications are conducted by the coroner's office. So once we have those identifications confirmed, we'll start bringing those to you. But family notifications, of course, have to happen first before we can start publicizing that information. There's nothing worse than a family member learning about the death of a loved one over the media. You want to have those notifications happen in person in a more intimate way. And so, again, we're here on 9th and K Street. We have been here since about 5 this morning, a few minutes before 5. This shooting, we understand, happened closer to 2 when people are sort of crowding the streets, pouring out of the local bars and clubs. If we actually turn the camera around, we can see that straight down K Street, you've got a straight shot to the Doco Downtown Commons Shopping District and the Golden One Center, where the Kings are slated to play the Warriors tonight at 6. The Kings, of course, have been pretty involved in social issues in Sacramento, so we can almost certainly expect a statement from the Kings organization. This happening just 3 blocks away from where the Kings play and where people enjoy themselves at the various restaurants and bars and shopping center in the Doco district. And so again, I think we can actually just turn this around one more time as we look again toward the scene. We're starting to get daylight here, which may help investigators as they comb the scene looking for further evidence. I can see what appear to be perhaps some cones, some evidence markers out there, but it's really kind of quiet, to tell you the truth, given what has happened here. This perimeter extends from here on 9th Street all the way to 13th, straight this way, and then from J Street to L Street, which is one street further this way. If you are just getting out and about for your Sunday morning, heading to church, heading to work, or heading to start running some of your weekend errands, you're going to want to avoid the downtown area. Although Sacramento Police says that it is safe right now, that there's not necessarily any risk or danger of being here in terms of traffic impacts and congestion. It's just you're just going to want to avoid this area as investigators continue to work this scene. We've seen police officers, fire department, other first responders coming and going through the police tape, but for now, as they continue their work, again, you're just going to want to avoid the downtown area. Monica.
More question for you, Luke. When it comes to the shooter, do we know who that shooter may be? Is there a suspect in custody?
It's a good question. We asked Police Chief Kathy Lester that very question. Unfortunately, the answer right now is we do not have any suspect information. We don't have a vehicle description. They're working through evidence. They're working to get their hands on surveillance video, to get their hands on social media video, phone video that witnesses may have taken that can give us a clearer view, a clearer picture of what transpired here. But for the time being, there's no be on the lookout or suspect description that we can share. Monica.
Thank you, Luke. We'll check back in with you, but we want to get a closer look at the map and where this all took place this morning on 9th and 13th Street. Let's go to Michelle Apon. She has your traffic update.
Good morning, Monica. Like Luke mentioned, it's okay to be in downtown Sacramento, but it's one of those situations where you need to avoid this area. This area that I'm talking about is between 9th to 13th Streets, between L and J Streets. So I would avoid this area, and this is not the area to be over the next several hours, maybe even later today. Okay, I want to give you a timeline of what happened as all these events transpired. So at 2:01 this morning, that's when shots were first called in and around this region. And that's when police were already there. They heard gunshots on scanner. And if you guys switch over to CG6, that would be great. They had reports of shots on CG right in this area at 2:01. It wasn't until 2:27 they found the reported gun at 10th and K Street. So that's 1029 K Street. That's where the gun was found. And I want to show you, like, right here, between 246 to 254. By this point, most people were either walking away from this incident that happened near 10th and K. Most people could walk to the local hospitals if they were still in this area. But between, let's say, 2:01 to 2:15, that's when most of those situations happened. At 2:09, that's when the fire department called this area a mass casualty event. Monica, I'm going to send it back over to you.
Thank you. And I want to go ahead and send it over to ABC 10's Madison Wade. She has the latest on this shooting from the community activist point of view. Madison, what do you have?
Yeah, Monica, so I just did an interview with Stevante Clark, the brother of Stephon Clark, who lost his life to police violence. And so we talked about what it's like right now in the community, hearing from people who have lost their lives with this horrible tragedy. He actually told me the name of one of the victims, but we're working to confirm. The family has publicly said that that person is no longer alive following this horrible tragedy. So here is a portion of our interview. Again, this is Stevante Clark.
Well, I was home when I got the message that this happened. I got numerous phone calls, text messages, social media, people hitting me all over. And my heart was breaking because I was planning on going out to the same club, London, where it was at. And my heart breaks because I was there yesterday with one of the victims. And so my heart breaks for the families and all those that have been impacted by this senseless tragedy. We also, the Clark family is planning a peace gathering at the same site, and I'll send you the details for that coming soon, because this has to stop, and we're committed to bringing actionable items to preventing this from happening again through the life and legacy of my dear brother, Stephon Clark. For me, people don't understand, I lost two brothers, one to police violence and another to gun violence. So I understand community violence. So I understand where this comes from. When you lose somebody, you feel like you don't have the emotional or the financial support. You're trying to make sense of these things. And now it's becoming a media thing as well. A lot of media are catching up on this. So my thing is, I know what it feels like to not be heard. And I know a lot of these families just wants to figure out what the hell is going on. There's so many reports, unconfirmed reports that are going out there, so many stories. 10 people shot, 8 people dead, 20 people altogether shot. So there's just so many stories going on that nobody knows what's what. So we're waiting till all the reports come in. And for me personally, the way I'm able to fight for these families and people been affected is because I've been affected by senseless gun violence.
And again, it's Devontae Clark talking about a peace gathering that the I Am SAC Foundation is going to be having outside of the London bar. That is where he says this all transpired. Again, right around the early morning hours after people were out and about around K Street and 10th Streets all night long in Sacramento. So again, a lot of unconfirmed reports. If you are on Twitter or Facebook, make sure to stay with ABC 10 for your local updates, of course, on this mass shooting as we are learning more information from community members as well as the mayor of Sacramento. We do just have a tweet from Mayor Steinberg this morning. He says, "Words can't express my shock and sadness this morning. The numbers of dead and wounded are difficult to comprehend. We await more information about exactly what happened and transpired in this tragic incident. Rising gun violence is the scourge of our city, state, and nation, and I support all actions to reduce it." Our new police chief, Kathy Lester, who we just heard from, has made it a top priority, and I stand firmly behind her. This is Mayor Steinberg just tweeting this morning as he is waking up learning about this mass shooting that happened in his city. Again, this is a developing situation. There's a lot of information online that you may be seeing that's unconfirmed, so stay with ABC 10 for those updates on air and online. As of right now, we do know 6 people are dead, 15 people are injured after this shooting that took place. We're gathering more information from the police chief, Kathy Lester, as well as Sacramento Fire. I just spoke with the Sacramento Fire Public Information Officer. He said that a ton of fire department personnel responded to this, but they also were on other calls as well. And so we are gathering more information by the moment, too. So, Monica, I know this is just a horrible situation to wake up to get the news. But again, a peace gathering is being scheduled for later. We're going to be reaching out to some family members who are posting things about people who are fighting for their lives in the hospital, about people who did not survive this horrible tragedy this morning.
Thank you, Madison. And before we go, I want to give you a final wrap of what happened today and what took place in downtown Sacramento. We are following breaking news on a mass shooting of 6 people who died, 15 injured after a mass shooting in downtown. We do have reporters on the scene, and we will have more for you coming up at 7:30. So keep it right here on ABC 10.